Thank you, Paula. Let's turn now to CNN global affairs analyst and former U.S. Special Representative for North Korean policy, Joseph Yun. Ambassador Yun, welcome back to the program. Very good to see you. Now, as you know, of course, we've talked about it before. This has been quite a year of whirlwind diplomacy, and there has been little progress so far in terms of denuclearization. You know, there are even reports that North Korea is still building its nuclear arsenal. Do you think that this latest summit that's happening in Pyongyang right now, is it going to make any difference?
I think it can make a difference. President Moon obviously has a tough task. He needs to bridge the gap between Washington and Pyongyang. It is clear that this is a serious impasse they've reached. You've seen that, when Secretary Pompeo was about to go to Pyongyang and President Trump stopped him. So next week, actually, there will be a meeting in New York between President Moon and President Trump. And the expectation is that President Moon will bring something to make sure that President Trump remains on track. But it is a tough task, Kristie.
Yeah, you described this as a tough task for President Moon. This is a tricky summit for him. You know, both North and South Korea, they share a common goal of declaring an end to the Korean War. But Seoul also does not want to alienate the United States. So, this is a difficult moment for Moon Jaein. Will he be able to bridge the gap here?
Well, I think what Washington expects now is a significant move by North Korea on denuclearization. How much can Kim Jong-un give? And also remember, President Trump is completely wedded to the deal he made in Singapore. The problem with that deal is that there was not much definition, concrete definition to the package. For example, the key issue of denuclearization. What does it mean? I mean, they could not define what denuclearization consists of. It is clear Washington and Pyongyang has different ideas. So right now, there is also a problem in Washington that where President Trump wants to be, his senior staff, principally John Bolton, are not with him. And so President Trump needs to convince his staff as well. So there is that gap. This is a complicated task, which will be very time-consuming. I believe it was completely wrong for President Trump to assume that this was solved after the only one meeting in Singapore, and it remains so.
Yeah, there's a disagreement over the definition of denuclearization. There's also the additional sticking point of the peace treaty. You know, we know that North and South Korea, they want a declaration to end the Korean War. The U.S., not on board with that. Can Moon Jaein and Kim Jong-un go ahead in this summit in Pyongyang and declare an end of the war without Donald Trump?
I don't think so. I don't think Moon Jae-in can go ahead and do a move as significant that will alienate Washington and go so far as to declare without Washington that the war has ended. I don't think that is possible. So in other words, they have to work to a compromise solution. Now, diplomacy is about compromise, but the problem in Washington has been that President Trump has been mostly binary. It's either about, fire and fury or about warm relationship. Well, diplomacy, getting to a deal, is about nudging the other side to where you want to go. And it is clear on denuclearization, we cannot get there at once.
Yeah, after all, peace building is about trust building and about compromise. A very, very tough task ahead. Ambassador Yun, as always, thank you so much for joining us. Take care.
Thank you, Kristie.
Now.